Call this meeting the Harlan Township Board of Trustees to order. As a reminder, the meeting is being audio and video recorded, and please don't forget to sign in. Please stand and join me in a pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you please read the minutes from the May 1st meeting?
Board of Trustees of Harlan Township met in regular session this first day of May 2024 at regular meeting place of 8276 State Route 132. Trustees Edward Perzinski, Kevin Kern, and Marcus Shelton present. Meeting called to order by Mr. Shelton at 7 p.m. Mr. Shelton asked all present to stand and say Pledge of Allegiance. Minutes read from regular session April 17, 2024. Mr. Shelton made a motion to accept minutes, second by Mr. Perzinski. Chief Bennett met with the architect Jeff Watterson to review plans and discuss layout. Mr. Watterson will be contacting building department with questions prior to submitting an estimate for drawings. Chief Bennett reported fire department officers attended a 2-hour training over Warren County Fire Chiefs Association operating standards. Chief Bennett reported additional electrical problems for Car 82, Car 82 towed to Bob Holte Chevrolet for estimates for repairs. Chief Bennett reported Car 84 Cadillac converters failed, looking into different options for vehicle. Car 84 is currently in service. Chief Bennett reported the 9 Lincoln 21, the 1954 Chevy Pumper has had several repairs already made and looking into a few other issues. Chief Bennett thanked firefighter EMT Jeff Cordry for his work on repairing the pumper. Chief Bennett working with Katie Horvath, Warren County Prosecutor's Office, and Auditor Matt Nolan to start paperwork for fire levy. Plan to have paperwork for May 15, 2024 trustee meeting. Chief Bennett reported First Arrivings has set up a website for fire department about volunteers needed for fire department. Mr. Mason submitted warranty paperwork for the new dump truck. Mr. Mason reported that the boom truck has been repaired. Mr. Mason reported the 07 dump truck listed on the Gov Deals. Mr. Mason received copy of the salt bid from Warren County Engineer's Office. Mr. Mason reported road department has started mowing and spraying township roads. Mr. Mason reported resurfacing has started in county from the road bids. Mr. Mason discussed rental of a cold planter. Mr. Mason reported driveway culvert work completed on Fisher Road. Mr. Mason continues working on the concrete bids. Ms. Williams asked about the road bid received at the last meeting. After discussion, Mr. Shelton made a motion to approve road resurfacing bid of $101,636.70, second by Mr. Perzinski. Old business, Mr. Perzinski discusses cemetery fence repairs. After discussion, Mr. Perzinski made a motion to repair cemetery fence not to exceed $2,000, second by Mr. Kern. Mr. Shelton made a motion for a salary of $18 per hour for Eric Likens and Philip Henson, seasonal employees, seconded by Mr. Perzinski. Mr. Shelton reported Butlerville rental agreement and vendor release completed. Mr. Kern made a motion to approve agreement and release, second by Mr. Perzinski. New business, Mr. Shelton working with Jason Fisher on Fisher Road agreement. Community comments, Tanya Studer asked if the 9 Lincoln needs to pay for the DJ at the Cruise Inn and township reimbursed them for the event. Trustees agreed. Tanya Studer asked about the language for the upcoming levy, questioned if it will state for personnel only and if the video for the presentation will be available to public review. Bridget Ballard placed the church information on the sign of Butlerville building. Melissa Greater-X asked if a copy of the presentation for fire levy will be available for public to view. Mr. Shelton made a motion to go into executive session pursuant to Ohio Revised Code section 121.22G1 to consider the employment, dismissal, discipline, promotion, demotion, or compensation of an employee, second by Mr. Kern. Roll call, Mr. Perzinski, yes. Mr. Kern, yes. Mr. Shelton, yes. Mr. Shelton adjourned the executive session, seconded by Mr. Perzinski. Roll call, Mr. Perzinski, yes. Mr. Kern, yes. Mr. Shelton, yes. Mr. Shelton made a motion to increase the hourly rate of Jeff Urey $1 per hour effective May 11, 2024, seconded by Mr. Kern. Mr. Shelton made a motion to increase salary of Assistant Chief Mason 4% effective May 15, 2024, seconded by Mr. Kern. Ms. Williams gave written financial report to trustees. Mr. Kern made a motion to pay bills, second by Mr. Purzinski. We had no correspondence. Chief Bennett asked why the fire chief did not receive a pay increase. Mr. Shelton stated we'll reevaluate in 6 months. Mr. Purzinski made a motion to adjourn, second by Mr. Kern. Meeting adjourned at 9:06.
Do you have any corrections or additions?
I have none.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes as read?
Motion to approve the minutes is read. Second.
Let's see. Chief Bennett, are you ready for your report?
I am. In front of you, you each have a copy of the resolution requesting auditor to certify the taxable value being collected on the 3.5 mil levy. That resolution, Jenny has there.
Do I need to read it?
Um,
You want me to read it? I didn't hear
They
it.
each have a copy. I don't
Yeah,
know if you have
okay,
it.
okay, just making sure.
It's just the resolution requesting that the county auditor certify to Harlan Township the total current tax valuation of Harlan Township and the dollar amount of a revenue that would be generated by a specified number of mills. And that is the 3.5.
Resolution number, Jenny?
051524-1.
Make a motion, we approve resolution number 051524-1. To have the auditor certify the total valuation.
Second.
Kern. I did a roll call. Sorry,
Oh, sorry.
sorry.
Yes.
Mr. Purzinski,
Yes.
Mr. Shelton.
Yes.
I'll have your copy. You want me to give it to you?
They have to sign it, I believe, or
Nope, just me.
just you. Yep, just you. Car 82, an update, it needs a new fuse box. The dealership is searching for parts due to no longer manufacturing. The annual petroleum underground storage tank release compensation application has been filled out. This is through the Ohio Fire Marshal's office for the 2 underground fuel tanks that we have. The annual cost is $550 per tank. The check and application will be mailed. You guys should have signed the check this evening. We have a new applicant, Chris Beecham. He was voted on by the membership on a 1-year probation. He lives in Anderson and he is a certified paramedic. Need a motion to accept his.
I'll make a motion, we approve Chris Beecham on a 1-year probation.
Second.
Contacted MSARS to service and repair our stair chair for Squad 81 and Squad 82. Quote is $947.91. I'm waiting on them to contact us for a service date. And the last item I have is the old Squad 82, which is a 2001 E450. I'd like to place that on Gov Deals.
You need a motion?
Yes.
Make a motion, we place the old Squad 82 on Gov Deals.
Second.
Are you gonna put a minimum on it or anything?
No, we'll just do it the same way we did it.
Okay.
Dump truck.
Charlie, do you have any questions for Chief Bennett?
No, sir. Thank you.
Mhm.
The applicant, Chris Beecham, this in Anderson,
He does.
long ways.
We have them living in Franklin, Mason, Lynchburg.
Does that pose a problem? You know,
Not if you stay in.
He's not going to be.
so they're here long term. It's not in and out.
That's what you mean long term.
A lot of hours, more or less. You know, they're not here for 4 to 6 hours. They're here for a day or longer.
Yeah, they usually stay at the firehouse overnight. From our shift is on the weekdays 7 p.m. to 5 a.m. and then the weekends it's 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So they usually do an overnight shift. We do have, some people that pull daytime shifts every now and then. So they'll do a 10, 12-hour shift as well. They stay at the firehouse. Obviously, you can't respond from Anderson, so.
I was gonna say, that's a good way.
I got a quick question on car 82. Isn't that the one that's having like the catalytic converters and?
That's car 84.
That's 84?
Yeah.
Didn't we just do something 82? Like,
Yeah, we had the, what did we have done to it?
Fuel system.
Fuel system.
The EMS.
Yeah.
ECM.
ECM was repaired on it, and then the fuse box had a short and it burned up. And GM does not make those fuse boxes anymore, so they're looking for the part.
what year is that?
The 14.
10 years old, can't get parts.
Yeah.
Wow.
They should buy it back.
All right, Steve, are you ready for the administrative report?
Yeah. The boom mower has been taken to Southeastern, thanks with some help from Warren County Engineer's Office for hauling it over there. Same thing that Rick had worked on a couple months ago, 3-4 months ago, whatever that was, back over the winter time, trying to get it to keep from moving. It's moving on its own. We decided to just take it over there, have the diagnosis. Way cheaper to have it taken over than each trip over was going to be about $180 just to drive from Monroe to here. So we decided to take it over there. The new Western Star, the 47X, is back at Freightliner for some warranty work. Cruise control, fix the seat cover. What else on that list, Jeff? I can't remember. Air leak. There's an air leak somewhere, yeah. It's leaking off pretty quick for being a brand new truck. So, the 07 dump truck was sold for $10,051. They did come and pick that up today. And I did remember this time to market is picked up, so I should get paid. Unlike the last time where I forgot that I had to market and it was picked up, and we didn't get paid for a little while. So that'll be direct deposited. I think it takes like a week or so to get that in there. We've completed, Jeff has completed the road mowing already for the season. For the start of the season, so pretty early through the first round. The chip seal meeting is tomorrow at 10 a.m. at the courthouse. Kevin is hopefully going to be able to make that pre-construction meeting. I have set up an account with Vandalia Equipment, a rental account with them for different equipment for mostly the skid steer. We currently have Warren County Water Department's planer, that'd be Kevin, actually, I think, right? To test for a skid steer, ran into some issues today with the electrical connection. They're both the same amount of pins, however, the John Deere one is different. So we're gonna do some more testing with that. Larry's been talking with John Deere to figure out if there's a proper adapter. I don't know if you actually got a clear answer for sure, whether it was the right one or not.
I think so. I'm not 100% sure, but yeah.
He was talking to Dan Hodge at like 3:45, but I don't.
It was, yeah, they were, yeah, so
Came out of it.
they're both 14 pin, but they only have 7 in them. And the 7 on the Deere don't match the 7 on the planer. So we were kind of wanting to test that one. I think Kevin's gonna get to us for free, right, Kevin, what the deal was? Yeah, no. So we basically wanted to test because the one from Vandalia is larger. It's a 24-inch. We were originally looking at renting an 18-inch from Murphy Tractor. The 24-inch planer is half the cost of the 18-inch. And the question was, could we run the 24 from Vandalia? So Kevin had mentioned that the water department he had one, and it worked out for us to be able to use it to kind of test the capabilities. Kind of the backup plan right now, just is to see if our machines, how well it runs the 18. Is I'm possibly going to put it on my skid loader. It's a similar horsepower, and it looks like the pins match on mine. So we may run it that way just to test it horsepower wise and see if it's something that we think we can run at 24 or need something different. Anyone add to that, Kevin?
That's pretty much it, I reckon.
Okay. So I'm working with Larry on that to try to figure out what we're going to do with that. We are adding a culvert underneath Lindley Worley. We turn off the Rossburg Road, house property on the left-hand side. They're coming down the hill. They're putting in or have a driveway in there that needs some work. So to alleviate some of these issues and some extra work for us, we're going to run the water underneath the road to the other side where it ends up anyway. That's avoids taking out a bunch of trees and doing a lot of drainage and then erosion work after. So that they're working on that here in the next week or less. I have sent the assistant chief job description and a dual role policy is what I've nicknamed it, basically for employees who have two different roles. The job descriptions are being written for individuals, for like one person's going to do it. So she suggested having a policy for people who have two roles within the organization and things that can be adapted between the two job descriptions to make them capable for one person to do. Those have been sent over to the prosecutor's office, and I've not heard back. Sent those a week or so ago, and I've not heard back from her yet. So she's been doing quite a bit of stuff for us, and I think we kind of moved to the back burner for a little bit. She's quite busy over there. So that is over there, and she is going to be working on it. Kevin and I met with Sarah Miller, who's here tonight, about the farmers market. Had some discussion with that, and we need some further discussion tonight. Currently, the farmers market, this is year number 8 coming up. Is that right? Or year 7? Year number 7 coming up. Essentially, it's been run as a more or less a private event, an event run by a separate organization. And the question is it going to remain that way, or is it technically a township event that the township sponsors? Unless you guys have debate there.
Would you like to speak, or you want me to go over what we went over last night or yesterday evening?
Well, how about if I introduce myself to everybody who's viewing and everybody who's in the room? My name is Sarah Miller. I currently live in Goshen, don't hate me, Claremont County. So the farmers market has been going on. So this will be the beginning of the 7th year. And previously it was run by April, who is absolutely wonderful. And when April moved out of state, there wasn't anybody to run the farmers market. And so I approached Dusty and I said, hey, can I run the farmers market? And why not? I didn't know what I was doing. Didn't know anybody. And so I pulled it off last year by the skin of my teeth. And we also had a holiday show, which was very successful. People are very happy about the event, and I'm hoping to do better this year for everybody. And I worked really hard for both the community and for the vendors. And in both of the events that I did, both the farmers market and the holiday show, it was mostly my money out of my pocket, and it was a lot of my time. I spent hours and hours every day working really hard to make it a success. And so I put my heart and soul into this project. And I'm hoping to get support from the township, from the trustees, from the community to keep this event going. And I'm a very flexible person. So I just want to do what's in the best interest of the community, of the vendors, of the township. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that's all I got to say.
And we appreciate you stepping up and keeping it going.
Thank you.
We did run into some legal issues last fall with the prosecutor's office as far as events held on government property and what. Did you guys talk about that?
We did, yeah.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we did.
That's why.
Well, I'll let you
I
guys
didn't
talk
even
about
do-
that since you've already talked.
This is just what I got from the prosecutor, and this is the Cliff Notes, because I don't need to make this any longer, I don't think. So, like, under the Ohio Constitution, unless it is leased, it is a public event, and the township has discretion over it. It's a township event on township property. There must be a public purpose, which would be to sell produce, and residents attend in a public setting. So the township can't turn away vendors, and any charges to vendors should go to the township, be minimal only to cover costs. Basically is what they say. So that's pretty much in a nutshell what the prosecutor said about if it's, on our property and you're not leasing it from us, that you can't turn people away from it. If they're selling produce, obviously they can't just sell anything, but
Do you charge the vendors?
I do. I charge each vendor $80, and that covers the insurance and advertising. Sort of. It doesn't actually cover everything. The rest of it comes out of my pocket.
Are all your vendors insured as well?
Absolutely. They have
And
to
you
be
carry
insured.
that, you keep the certificate from them?
I have them put me as a co-insured,
That's
and then
the
they say
additional
additional
insured.
insured. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you
I
would
have
have
an
a copy of each vendor already on file that you keep.
Right, exactly, yes, yes. But I have an insurance agent that I call and I say, what am I supposed to do? I'm not an expert in insurance.
And you would probably make them, you would be an additional insured.
Yes.
In other words, if there was an event that would, anything that might happen, and they were to just pack up and leave, so you have no recourse. So you're an
Right.
additional insured,
Uh-huh.
so that you would be technically on each one of them's policy. So
Correct,
when they have, anything happens, you have recourse as
right.
well.
So I have insurance on the event, or the events plural, and I have the vendors each have their own additional insurance, and like you said, I'm added as the additional insured. So CYA, you know what I mean? Huh?
That leaves Harlan Township out as the additional insured, since it's on township property.
So, as it was stated with VFIS because I was involved with when I came in,
Mhm.
and then April left, and when Sarah, we checked with VFIS, they had to have their own insurance. And then,
Right,
but with it being on township property, there's still, VFIS would still be involved because it's on township property, but it would all fall under her insurance. It's just like if we have a fish fry or something, or somebody else has an event, we have VFIS as coverage
right.
for like accidents and stuff like that or whatever, but she has insurance and has to be insured. And that's when she went and got her insurance.
I think all the vendors have to be insured. That's what,
Yeah.
So I actually have two policies. I've got one for my business and I've got one for the farmer's market for myself.
for being the coordinator, basically.
Well, I have another business where I sell soap and
okay.
bath bombs too.
Okay.
And
So,
how do you determine who gets to be a vendor?
I have a contract that, each of the vendors sign. And, we try to have only one type of product per vendor. So we have a honey vendor, a soap vendor, a candle vendor, a jewelry vendor, because when people come to shop, they don't want to come to a farmer's market and see just like jewelry vendors everywhere or soap vendors, you know what I mean?
Well,
We want
typically,
to,
when you have produce, everybody has the same produce at the same time. My corn comes on the same time as his and his and his. So how do you determine one person can bring corn?
no, produce is a little bit different because last year currently we have two produce vendors. And we did have a few other people who brought different kinds of corn and, I'm sorry, not corn, tomatoes. Like we had one vendor who came with different kind of tomatoes than our main tomato vendor and different kind of beans than our main bean vendor. So we definitely had variety.
Do the people that your vendors,
Yeah.
do you give them a priority from being from Harlan Township since it's kind of held here?
If they're from more or less for the
If I live in
holiday craft
Westchester and I
show
want to
I
come over
did.
here and then there's
Right.
somebody that has some of the similar items that lives in Pleasant Plain, this way, I guess this way.
I gave
how do you
preference
choose
to
between the
people
one in
who were
Westchester and then one in Pleasant Plain?
definitely closer, but it's, I definitely, if people were from a long distance, because it's a very small farmer's market, I definitely discouraged people, because, people come to a farmer's market to be a vendor to make money.
Well, the reason why I ask is I've had a couple people from the township
Uh-huh.
want to know what the precedence was. Why did somebody else get a product to bring there and they live here and they can't bring theirs there? But I didn't
I mean,
follow
our
through on
honey
any of
vendor,
that.
our honey vendors lives down the street. His corn is growing right there next to down the street by the fire station. So he's local. And our corn vendor, we didn't have a corn vendor until halfway through the season, and he's in Wilmington. So it's kind of like first people who sign up, people who are
First
kind of close, but people who are reselling stuff made in China. I said
That's
no,
not produce.
no, no.
It's a produce, it's a farmer's market.
Right, it's a farmer's
not a
market, it's
jewelry
a
store.
handmade and producer only market, yes.
Yeah, if it was something other than produce, you would have to charge sales tax on that, so.
Right,
It has
that's
to kind
up
of
to,
be, it has
that's
to
up
be
to
an
the,
edible product. It can't be jewelry or it can't be something like that.
well, we can sell that kind of stuff, but it's up to the vendor to have all
Like the
the,
sales tax, and that would
Yes.
come back, be careful because that might come back on you.
it's not my responsibility to make sure that the vendors are charging sales tax. That's their business and they have
Correct.
to deal with the state on that and the county on that one.
One of our issues, apparently what the prosecutor's office is saying, so that it's against the Ohio Constitution for the township to turn away people from public property and any charges to vendors should go to the township, which you've been operating this. What do you spend like in advertising? Can I ask you that? I mean, is it too personal?
No, it's
'Cause
not too personal.
What I was wondering was maybe, because we want you to be successful. We want our small farmers and everybody to be successful. We want this to be we want to help it grow.
Mhm.
What if, what if like you could get rid of your insurance, your second policy or whatever that you have to have over top of the other vendors,
Mhm.
and then you just have to have your vendor insurance like all the other
Mhm.
markets. And then the township could reimburse for like advertising and whatnot up to a certain number, whatever we did. I mean, if we go that route.
So I'll jump in here. So the question, the first question, which we discussed last night is, up until now, since thing's been run for 6 years so far, as essentially a private event. It's called the Harlan Township Farmers Market, but it's not run by Harlan Township.
Right.
As soon as we cross over that it's run by Harlan Township, we have other considerations to take into account. You know, the fact that we, as a public entity, we can't turn away anybody who shows up, and that could be things that maybe the trustees didn't. Well, I don't know what I can probably create some things that might show up at the farmers market, as well as liability issues and extra work. And I think one of those big things is going to be inspections of everything. So if the township is now hosting this thing and it's by us, every tent that goes up then has to be inspected by a inspector.
We don't inspect it. The the ODA comes out and spot checks, and the county health department spot checks.
Building inspection part. So if they're running the generator, Dusty is our fire inspector. We have two.
Do we allow generators?
Wow, there's generators.
At the farmer's market?
Yeah, if they need a refrigerator or whatever to run,
Really?
but we provide electric at times too, if they have a spot that they can get there, yes.
So
There's been generators there.
Yeah, we haven't inspected because it's not been our event. It's essentially last year it was the Sarah Miller Farmers Market. Doing business as Harlan Township Farmers Market, essentially how it was run. It's not our event. It's not a township government event. And if the township were to put money into advertising and the signs, then that makes it a Harlan Township event as well.
And it's a free-for-all.
It could be, and then we're also going to need our own policies on how we run our farmers market. We would need something to go through legal on. This is what we expect. This is what we're going to do, and I have. There's places that do them, but I know the food trucks have been mentioned.
Well, that's the other thing I was gonna bring up, because we talked about that last fall, about doing food truck Thursdays
Mhm.
when the farm market's going on. That way, maybe it might help draw more people into the farmer's market, you know.
And we would have the same thing with the food trucks, where those would need to be inspected at every event. Fire inspection.
Really?
Yes.
Do it what?
So that would be an event.
Does this consider pay for
If
inspection?
we sponsored, it doesn't matter what you want to call it. If it's a Harlan Township that we're sponsoring this farmer's
So
market,
you just, they just say, hey, I
It's-
need inspection, and you just do it.
So like all the events we had last year with the food trucks, I personally never seen anybody get inspected.
And say what, Weston doesn't get inspected all the time.
But this is, you're saying because it's a township
you
event?
did, yes, it's sponsored by a government agency, and then liability wise, I don't imagine if the FAS is gonna appreciate having, whatever it might be, right? You have and I don't know the inspection process on them. I'm not a fire inspector, so I can't tell you all the processes or the requirements.
Well, the insurance didn't have a
But-
problem with food trucks last year at the events. But I talked with Zach, think about that.
So
I
it's-
think the food trucks need to be inspected by the health department.
Right.
You get a
I'm
permit.
gonna defer to the fire
Permit goes
inspector. I'm not one, you can ask Dusty.
You bet do.
Yep, the food trucks have to have a fire extinguisher, they have to be so far apart from each other, they have to have proper wiring, they have, just like a home inspection. I mean, you gotta, what they're cooking, and the health department does the food aspect, and we have to do the safety.
So
I
that's
do.
before every event that's supposed to be
If they're
happening.
setting up,
I've been
yes.
inspected and I've gone out 50 times.
You've never been
But
inspected?
never.
I was gonna say that, it's done spot checks. It's not
Yeah, I
done
would think-
every event.
I would think spot checks, yeah.
Do they get like a sticker on their food truck that says they've been inspected for a
Health
year?
department does.
The health department
Yeah, you have
does.
to have.
They did it for the firehouse, we
go out.
do it for the meals.
Yeah, I'm talking
We have
about
one.
food trucks.
Yeah, you have to have that. I think it's BFIS, does that sound right?
That's our insurance.
That's our
That's our
insurance.
insurance.
It's 4 letters.
So how do we get around all this? How we? Because,
What if-
because we want this
what
to
if you
work,
were
we want it to be successful, so what do we need to do on our end?
What if you were to lease it and you handle everything and then we let go of the liability of it and then basically you would be responsible?
Right? That's an option.
I mean, that's the way it's been. That's why she has insurance. That's the way it's been run up until now, is that if something happens, she has her own
What?
insurance.
It's really already war, kind of.
Yeah, that's how it's been run up until now. She essentially has been using, now there's not an official lease agreement, which there would need to be official signed stuff,
I'll be
that
rental.
rental agreement, and it basically remains like it was. It's called the Harlan Township Farmers Market, but essentially it is the Sarah Miller Farmers Market.
Right, so she leases, she would have
She
to drop the
leases.
Harlan Township part back.
Well, I mean, we could put some disclaimers on there that it's in Harlan Township, so you could call it that, with the disclaimer, that's not sponsored by Harlan Township.
We're still gonna get the phone calls though.
Yeah, it may be something if you're that right, you address in the future or something, but, I know she's so close here to this thing starting, it would be pretty hard to change that here this late in the game for this year at least, I would think, from her side of things, so.
So when you get money for that $80, where does that go to?
Insurance, mostly insurance. And then whatever's left over goes to advertising.
Now, is that $80 every time they set up a booth, or that's $80 for the season?
For the season.
80 for the season,
Which is-
$15 for if you just come to an event.
So it's a lot less expensive than all the other farmers markets. And because I started so late last year, I was kind of desperate for vendors, so I made the fee lower.
I'd like to see something in it for the fire department somehow, some way. We're using their parking lot, they're kind enough to
Well,
make
you
it happen.
probably
Start
have,
it from,
you probably have on your insurance them listed, right? Because I have to have like the IGA listed, or when I was with Lebanon, you had to have City of Lebanon as a backup on your insurance.
As a co-insured, you mean?
Well, because I'm doing business through them, so they have to be,
On their property.
Yeah, I had to get the owner of the IGA lot and stuff and put him on the insurance just a couple weeks ago, you know.
I
So
believe
with-
so. I haven't visited my insurance
Yeah.
policy since last
But,
July.
I mean, you know, they should be on there somewhere.
Yeah, if it's her event like it has been, then we basically just deal with her and her insurance that she gets for the blanket for everybody. List us as all other insured. Her other vendors then list her as additional insured. So we just have an additional assured from her policy because she has a blanket to cover everybody there. And then her individual vendors then have her as additional insured, not Harlan Township.
We have that.
It might be my insurance, but I had to put on Deerfield, I had to put on Lebanon, I had to put on,
That's additional insured.
yeah, I mean, all I had to do was give the information to the insurance company, but it's there if something happened, you know.
How do you feel about this farmer's market?
Well, I already do too, and I'm almost 80, I'm not gonna do another one.
It's not about coming here, but how it's operated is, Randy, do you have any input or advice?
I have never been here, is Kimberly Robinson still?
That
Yeah,
name's not familiar,
Yeah.
sorry.
That was long ago.
I'm, you know, I do it in Lebanon, Mason, and
Well,
that,
you
so
go,
it's
you
bigger
go
area.
periodically, you've
But-
done it for years.
Yeah,
Do you have some input on how it's ran, on what you see
yeah,
here?
see, I don't know I don't know how I just met her tonight and just, you know, I'm just saying that I know I have to list on my personal insurance where I'm setting up. It's a backup thing. So,
Right.
and then different insurance companies might handle it differently, but I would think that they would have to be somewhere listed
I don't have the
because,
current
you
one,
know.
okay, but that's how that.
So what would it take to get you to come to this farmer's market?
Well, if I would have really gotten kicked out of Lebanon, then I might, but
Yeah, so we're in this Lebanon market on Thursdays.
yeah, I'm not with it anymore. You know, they moved and they've moved again this year and you know, so we were invited by the IGA guy to set up a farm market and that's what we've done.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Did Lebanon charge you a fee?
The Lebanon did charge fees. They didn't last year because we had moved. And I assume because they're moving again, that they're probably not gonna charge again this year, but.
And do you mind me asking how much that fee
Yeah, it
was?
was $50. That was the
An
city.
event?
No, for the year, City of Lebanon. So that's a little different too, you know,
Yeah.
it was actually run by the City of Lebanon.
So to get around all this, then she'll just need to sign a rental agreement.
That's the only thing I see as being a viable way other than
Without us
us carrying the
becoming,
liability.
without us becoming really involved, you know.
Yep.
I mean, we wouldn't, I mean, obviously, like I said, if we had to go that route, I would be for reimbursing expenses and whatnot. If we end up that way in the future. Kind of like we do with Easter, Santa, you know.
So do you mind me asking, like, how much came out of your pocket? Like, if you know what I'm saying? Like, how much are you?
It got to be so much that I just incorporated it with my, my soap and bath bomb business, when I did my taxes. I just added that all in line item.
Meaning for the insurance policy?
That's for the advertising, the marketing and advertising. The vendor fees covered the insurance. And a
Where do you
little tiny
advertise
bit,
at?
mostly on social media.
And how is there an expense on social media?
Well, there's not, but then the printing, you know, when I print the flyers.
You have
And
signs too, don't you?
signs, yeah, and I had signs.
Made or they already have been made?
I make everything, and I have to take them to the printer, like the UPS store, and have them print. And they're not cheap, unfortunately.
Well, you might have some connections with a print shop, though, get a discount. Somebody does with 9 Lincoln.
Oh, yeah, I do. I'm thinking, I don't connect
In
to
the
no print
last
shop.
year, yeah, in the last year, I've been able to network and find less expensive options than at the UPS store for printing.
Printing, like, are you talking like the signs you stick out in the yard, or I don't know what
All of
signs?
them, all.
I mean, once you have one sign, I wouldn't think you would have to continue to keep making them. I would think that you would just reuse the sign that you have.
It just depends if the artwork, because I'm the artist, if the artwork's bad, like when you can't really, when you're creating a sign, you can't really tell if people are driving by, because, you know, it's country out here. If people are, you know, driving by, so my signage has to catch people's eye.
So we
And
have
if it doesn't, then I just throw it away and start over again. I know, that sounds expensive, but,
Yeah,
you know,
that's very expensive. I would look into maybe making like a vinyl sign, one sign, and,
right.
because that's what we use for the events for Harlan Township, and we've used them for two years now, and it
Right.
works.
You guys
Instead of
changed the date.
continuously making sign after sign after sign for expenses.
out.
You did what?
We cricket the letters out
Oh,
of
you
vinyl.
cricket the dates, okay.
Well, no, not all of, well, we have on some, the majority of them are made,
Yes.
but we have to cricket just the dates.
Right.
Because you don't know what date that's gonna be the next,
Right.
you know, so. But I would think that would be a cost efficient way to go, create one sign and then,
So
the
basically,
area.
I started last year, I had absolutely no idea what I was doing.
I'm just giving you
I'm
suggestions.
Flying by the seat of my pants.
Yeah, I would think that would be,
Lots of
because I mean, we
mistakes.
paid $70 for one vinyl,
And they're
4x8.
big, yeah.
And they're, you know, they're like, have you ever, well, you're from Goshen, so I
I'm
know.
currently working with, a new sign company that's, very cost effective to have, new signage, and, they have the option of, I don't remember exactly what she called it, you can like change the dates or change, there's ways to, you can, change things without changing the whole sign. I'm not, sorry. I don't remember exactly what she said, but I'm finding
Just to
better
me, I
resources.
mean, I would think the $80 would cover the insurance, you get one sign, and that should be mainly the expenses that you should incur.
Right, but this is a large area, so I can't just put out, you know, like one sign, I have to put out signs like on 28, I'm gonna get those big tall signs and put them out on 28. You know, and I gotta put them up every Thursday and get people to come this direction and.
I would think you'd be able just to say farmer's market every Thursday at this time and just leave it up for the whole season. You shouldn't have to take them down and put them up because if you keep them up.
Yeah.
Well, not if you do the big vinyl signs.
Yeah, you've seen these guys that work for the county?
Yeah. Not the 9 Lincoln signs got
Our signs
tore up.
didn't get tore up.
Yeah.
The only thing that tore up our signs, was wind. That's the only thing we had an issue with.
Mrs. Shelton, the markets that you've been to, do they limit as far as the number and with the vendor, like only one person having,
Not really.
not really?
You know, they don't want too many bakers, they don't want, you know, they
Okay.
usually don't hold back on produce, but, my tables are like a general store and nobody's ever said anything, so.
Okay.
But every market is different. I mean, I applied to Loveland years ago and was told they had no need of my product, so I didn't go to Loveland.
Yeah, Levelland's very strict.
Yeah.
Sarah, how do you wanna, how do you wanna proceed? Because, I mean, either we have to be more involved, or you'll have to do like a rental agreement.
So I'm a very flexible person. I'm also a very lazy person. So we're gonna go the least, the easiest route. So whatever is the easiest for everybody.
I think the
So probably
easiest,
the rental agreement like you suggested.
I would think that would probably, I mean, especially since it's starting in what,
2 weeks.
maybe 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
If we do the rental agreement, how's that going to affect food truck Thursdays if we do that? Because she's actually renting the parking lot.
Then you just have the food trucks organized with me.
Have them organized with you.
Mhm.
And then they can decide,
When are they gonna be able to be charged a fee?
Sublease.
according to prosecutor's office, we're not supposed to be charging fees for food trucks and
We've been down that road already, haven't we?
But if
But
it's a
it's not
private,
you, it's her.
if I've rented,
Oh,
if I've rented
okay.
the area
Right.
and I'm running the market, then they have to contact me and,
I wouldn't recommend it because, I mean, they don't make a lot of money anyway. I
the
mean,
food truck people,
yeah,
oh yeah, they
we've
do.
had some come out here and like,
Well, okay, so after the holiday market that I had last November, I had 3 food trucks here. Okay? And because I did such a good job advertising, I had food trucks from all in the area. They're like, oh my God, when's your next event? They
But I
call
think an
me- Yeah,
event is
people, I
gonna
have
be
no
different than a
idea who they
typical
are,
Thursday.
how they heard about me.
right,
Because the event went so well.
right.
You'll have more show up to an event than you will just on a
Right,
Thursday
Yes,
at a farmer's
absolutely,
market.
because
Your events, yes, food trucks make
but
money
I
at the
can tell you
events.
Weston
Yes.
has found another job, so, you know, if you have an event, then there's money to be made.
Yes,
But just to do it, you know.
on a Thursday,
Yeah.
And
how
the-
much are they actually gonna make?
And the fortunate thing about this area is that it's really a food desert, so to speak. So if there's a food truck out here, and I'm sure everybody's like me, I want a break from cooking dinner. So they're all gonna come to the, the food truck if it has, their style of food. I think it'll go really well.
Well, then we won't be doing food truck Thursdays because it would fall through her.
Yeah, I don't think you'd be able to do like the food truck as township and then the farmer's market as her. I think we'd have to
No,
cover
because it'd be
one.
right.
You just have to be no food truck.
And it's really not a food desert, we just drive about 8 minutes down there to the
Yeah.
McDonald's. We're good, I mean, if we're that hungry, that's where you're going, right? Skyline,
Skyline.
yeah.
Don't
I
forget-
frequent there often.
Don't forget President Lane.
Yeah, the junior school.
I don't know, I think food trucks are a little more fun.
Well, I mean, it's not a food desert, that's what I was.
So why don't we just,
Oh,
why don't we
yeah,
just do
sure.
that for this year then? And we'll see how things go throughout the summer. But we just want to make sure, we're doing everything correctly on our end because
Sure.
too many people getting their hands smacked.
So what's the lease agreement gonna be? Is it gonna be like a monthly? Is it gonna be like for the
How long does
season?
this run?
It goes from June to September, and then I also have the holiday market in November. And that's both inside and outside.
Inside,
Huh?
inside where?
The
Fire
department?
station.
You all right with that?
They did it last
for
year.
many years.
The holiday market is when, November?
November.
The first Saturday.
Yeah.
November.
Any input?
Great PR for the fire department, great community relations with the community.
We had live music last year. That's the first time, right? They had live music for the holiday show.
All right, so what do you guys want to do on the
Great.
agreement?
Well, the two things that I have,
Because
I'd like to see, other than a rental agreement, which is a given, is I'd like to see the Harlan Township producers have first priority if that's possible.
Mm-hmm.
And second, is there something you could do for the fire department, just, other than PR? You could brainstorm, I don't have anything in mind, but, they're really going out of their way to accommodate, so.
Absolutely, and I appreciate it so much.
If there's any way that they could get something, some way, somehow, promotion, donation, anything. something.
Okay, sure.
What kind of a rate do we have to do on it? Because this is set up for the event space, hourly rental agreement, but it's set up for the gymnasium and I mean, it does have the community, it does have the gym, it has the admin building, firehouse meeting space, and it has other.
We could make it June to, would you say September,
Mm-hmm.
with an additional November? With an additional day in November as well.
Well, that. Yeah,
June to September, and then one day in November.
All right. What do you guys, let's see. Well, we're not gonna be having another meeting before now and then, so we either have to pencil in tonight or I'm gonna keep her on track. She has to have the rental agreement, so what do you guys, what are we doing on the race?
For the season, what's it worth to you?
What's it worth to me?
Hey, I took Rick hours for a place.
Well, I'm not sure. I haven't really had to rent a space before to have a farmer's market, so I would have to
All your patrons do.
all my patrons.
All your patrons do.
Have they paid yet? Vendors.
Vendors, I guess,
yeah.
Not patrons.
They've all paid,
Not all of them, but most of them, yes.
I would say up there.
Right?
Right,
On
if
their
you're,
fees
if
to cover,
you're doing an
to
extra
cover
cost,
the,
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
but then again, if you charge too much, then people don't wanna do the
Right,
event,
it's
because
It's not
we're.
an actual building, I mean, it's a parking lot, it's outside, it's for a
Right.
couple hours,
Right.
one day a week. How many hours is that?
It's for,
4 hours?
Everything's going up. I'm not saying it up at $40, but you know, has it been $15 for 6 years?
What's that?
The fee for the vendors.
that's for the people who just wanna show up occasionally, it's $15.
Per-
But it's
$15
$80
per
for the whole
event,
season.
$80 for the season.
I gotcha.
Nothing, yeah. So, I'm trying to make it cost effective to encourage people, but sometimes if you get too many of the same vendors, I mean, if you went to the mall, would you really wanna go to, if it's all shoes and you didn't want shoes, you wanted t-shirts?
For now.
Is there room for more additional people? So, I mean, if you were to turn somebody
sure,
away, there
sure.
you're just getting more money.
Sure, but there comes a point too where, if people are poorly behaved,
I'd throw them out.
exactly, thank you very
So
much.
the vendor's different.
And she
No,
can, it's right there in that
if-
agreement.
Huh?
It's right there in that agreement, you can throw them out.
Exactly, yes, I
Alright.
put that on their agreement, but if people apply and I turn them down and then they're verbally abusive, then I'm not going backwards on that. There's no revisiting that, that's a done deal.
With 50 a month, $200 a season?
$50 a month, or $200 a season?
Yeah.
Gonna do $100 a season?
I'm just throwing that out there, I'm not making, what do you guys think?
Since last year, just about everything minus the,
What is that?
for the insurance came out of my pocket. I'm not quite sure how this year's gonna go, given that the cost of everything's gone up so much.
I'm fine with that. We just have to cover our bases here, and we want this to be for the community.
Right.
So it'd be 4 months, it'd be 25 a month, $100.
Sure.
Okay.
She needs to sign this thing right away, so,
I'll get with Steve, and Steve can get what they're,
okay.
If you need me to, I can do it tonight, or I can come in and meet with it
what's that?
to sign it, if
Oh,
you have to prepare something else.
no, all it is the rental agreement. So, okay, we'll do that for the $20 a month.
25.
For the 4 months, or 25, yeah, for the 4 months. Okay. And that works for you, and that keeps us legal, and
Mm-hmm.
Well, I strongly advise to please use Harlan Township people, and I wouldn't turn anybody away if I were you. But that's your choice.
Okay.
You're renting it now. You're a tenant.
I'm a tenant. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for seeing me. Thank you for addressing this evening. Even though it's really close to market time, it is a little bit on the stressful side for me. But I'm so glad that I could, it be taken care of.
Now, like we said, we want this to be successful for the community, you know, for our local small farmers and
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. You guys have been absolutely wonderful and I appreciate it so much.
We need to work on your table mate there, get her there too.
I think other markets are a lot bigger than this one, so.
Keep working on her.
all right. Steve, do you have anything else?
Last thing I have, we have 2 burials this week at Edwardsville. One was on the 13th and the other one is tomorrow the 16th. That's all I have.
You guys have any more questions for Dusty's report?
No, sir.
Let's go to old business.
It's cemetery work is completed by Valor Defense Company. And a check was already cut, so I think it looks good. Good job.
Kevin?
No, sir.
I don't believe I have any either. Steve, do you have any old? No. Jenny?
No.
New business, Ed?
Went to the BZA meeting at the county last night, went over some zoning requests.
You say B?
BZA, I think. Yes, BZA. I can't keep them all straight. Zoning is split into about 5 ways. I'm on 3 of them. But I think it's BZA. Granted a variance for somebody to build in Franklin, and right outside of the city of Franklin, close to the city of Carlisle. So, Harlan Township's getting all the way across the whole county now. That's all I have.
Yep, we already covered my new with the farmer's market and the chip seal meetings, so.
Sorry, Kevin.
Keep up the good work. It's all good.
All right, the only thing I have, I've been asked to sit on the steering committee for the Warren County Park Board, which will be meeting next week. I have no idea what that is, so any information that you guys have concerning Warren County Parks, please send it to me, because I'm going in blind.
I spoke with somebody that gave me a lot of input. I'll have to tell you.
Okay. Steve, do you have any new? Jenny, do you have new?
No.
Community comments. Tony, you look like you have something to say.
Well, I was just calling about asking about the 911 system that they already approved in April, so I believe.
Mhm.
And on the resolution that the village also needs to be putting up one. I talked to Steve and Dusty here, and they pretty much said all we need to do is just we print this with our letterhead and so forth, and sign it and have a village vote on it, and take it in as an ordinance, or it's as a resolution. Yeah, resolution.
Now, what is that concerning, the CAD system?
It's for the 911 calling system and so forth. They're went through and apparently they revamped it and so forth.
Right.
To go over it, make sure it's up to date and everything.
Mhm.
And they wanted everybody in the community to, all the villages and stuff like that, to put a resolution in place.
You guys done it a couple months ago.
Yeah, we passed it
I
out.
was gonna say, we did it
A
like
couple
in
months ago, we
January.
passed it, yeah.
Yeah, I got
Is that what the commissioners do?
No. This is not, this is done annually, correct? It's every year that comes around. Essentially, yeah. So it's basically just
okay.
the 911 offering for Warren County.
I already
all
went to
the-
the meeting.
Yeah.
The meeting,
remember?
Yeah.
I did it at the meeting.
So you're taken care of, you know what you need to do.
I think so. I'm just going to do another resolution and so forth, and have the village vote on it, and then try to send it in to the commissioner.
Okay.
I think Ralph Blanton's handling that.
Rob Blanton?
Yes. He's a Salem Township trustee.
Okay.
If you need his information, I could give that to you.
Ralph Blanton.
Ralph? Oh, okay.
Rob Blanton was the old gym teacher.
Yeah, I was going to say, I went to school with him. They're related.
Yeah.
Ralph Blanton, okay.
Any other? What do you have there?
Listen,
I see.
I think I just need clarification on what events can be posted on the website versus if I just need to show them as gym rentals, because the events, I put like descriptions on whose event it is and what's going to be going on there. Where obviously the gym rentals just show busy.
Right.
But with the farmer's market, when I sent the flyer, it was pretty much said we have to be careful of what we advertise for.
We don't have a policy yet, do we?
We do not, no.
Is she working on that?
No, I've got to find some base to start from there.
We
I
haven't
haven't got that.
We've
It's
got
on the
a
list.
policy in place. before
It's on
we
the
start.
matrix like she
So
sent
then
us.
what do you want me to do as of right now? Just mark it busy if it's not an actual Harlan Township
Yeah.
event?
Be fine. This is all new territory for us.
Right, but like even on the website, you have an events calendar and then you have your gym rental calendar.
Right.
And that's gonna be silly to not be able to use the events to showcase the events that are
Right.
happening within the township.
Right.
So, and that, I do think that that includes 9 Lincoln, so I can't even post 9 Lincoln events.
Yeah, well,
That's
hopefully
what
we
I'm
can
saying.
get this
I just wanna
policy
make
done
sure-
pretty soon, because if we start, the way she worded it was, if we don't have this policy in place that's specific to what we can do.
Correct. You have
If
to
we
advertise
advertise for
everything.
something, we gotta advertise somebody's yard sale, somebody's garage sale, you know.
Correct.
There's too many avenues there.
Right, which is understandable, but I think if we're wanting the township to grow and be community, we need to let them know what events are happening
Right.
within the township. So we bring more people. If it just shows busy, why are they ain't gonna pop in just to see what's going on if they don't know what it is?
I agree. As soon as we have the policy in place, then we can be more specific as to what we advertise. Any other community comments?
I have a question about, and I just need clarification. There was a thing that went out, and I don't think the township did it, but about a fire ban, it's where you're not allowed to have open burns between like March and the end of May. Is there a policy that, is there someone we call it, would not be a 911 call necessarily, but who do we call if we see someone burning? It is.
Question for Chief.
I mean, you're not supposed to burn before 6
Correct.
p.m.
Is it contained?
No.
They're burning brush?
Yep.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, we can't, I mean,
During the burn ban, it's through the EPA and the ODNR.
Is it?
Yeah, from March until end of May, and then October and November. You cannot burn between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m.
Why do they not have, I mean, why is there no restrictions in the summer?
Yeah, September and October. What's that?
I mean, June, July, August, how is there no,
Because it's more based on the change of weather conditions, I think, than what it actually is.
really?
And, yeah. But we don't go out looking for it, but if people call us, we put it out.
so is it a 911 call, or is it a?
That's what usually happens, yes.
Okay,
Or we go out and investigate it and we end up sending our units out.
Okay.
Put it out.
Sounds like you don't have to know.
We're kind of, where before we could use our discrepancy on, but now with it being controlled by ODNR and EPA, it's all over and our hands are kind of tied to.
If it's like were you talking about an open fire, like a small campfire, a little bonfire, or something like that, is that considered?
Yeah, you're not even supposed to have that. It's, 3 foot by 3 foot that you're supposed to be. It's, I forget, but if you use it as a cooking fire, you're, able to.
But it's contained.
But it's in a contained, yeah.
Okay, what about like in a fire pit, a closed fire pit?
After 6 p.m. you can, yeah. Oh, you mean after the little, what are those things called?
Fire rings.
The little fire pits,
Yeah.
yeah, you can do those, yes.
Okay, that's during the season, but.
Yeah.
And that's controlled by the ODNR and not EPA?
But it's after 6
So if you
p.m.
don't know-
And the one that really gets, which we have issues with neighbors before, but the one that you can really get most residents in the township if we wanted to, and is your open fire has to be 1,000 feet from an occupied resident, another residence. So which excludes probably 50% the area of the township. So really, if you go, to the T, if your fire is within 1,000 feet of another home, year round, you can't ever burn there.
Or your home.
It's 1,000
You're-
feet now?
Well, you're probably not gonna call yourself in. So it's 1,000 feet from an occupied residence.
I thought it was 5. Now it's
1,000 feet. 1,000 feet.
Government control. More of it.
Wow, that's crazy.
Getting an education tonight.
Good night, learn something new.
Any other community comments? Natalie, you got anything going on?
I missed that meeting. My grandson had a T-ball game,
Oh, okay.
so I missed that meeting. But I don't think so. Our next event will be the movie night. June 3rd, I believe.
Good.
It'll be here.
Out in the yard or? in the-
Yeah. No, out in the yard. Yeah. June 7th, I believe. Friday, June 7th. Don't hold me to that. I don't have my 9 Lincoln notes, but I think it's June 7th.
Okay.
It's a free community event. They'll have juices, popcorn, chips. I mean, come watch a movie. Oh, you're wrong. Who the movie is? We just got that information.
Super Mario Brothers.
Okay, thank you. I literally just looked at it and I forgot.
You better make sure you have a CD.
Oh, I'm not in charge of none of that. I'm out.
The last 2 times.
I
it
know.
had
She said that her
terrible-
thing is working well, so it should work pretty good.
All right. Motion to pay the bills?
Make a motion to pay the bills.
Second. Correspondence? Wow, it is quiet. I'll make a motion, we adjourn.